How y'all doing? It has been a while, let's just say, since I've done a live stream here on the INFJenius channel. Cheers. You can't really see it, but I'm drinking barley grass powder tea with honey. It's very healthy and it tastes good too. I didn't think that at first, but now I do. I've been all about the natural stuff now the last couple of years. And some of you don't know this yet. I probably haven't talked about it on this channel, but this year I went through a battle with cancer, my second time, and my first time through chemo. And all I can say is I had to rely on God all the way through and pray through every day. It's been a real challenge, but I'm now on the other side, still recovering, still having some pain issues, neuropathy mostly, but I'm really thankful to have gotten this far. And I'm really glad to be back to being able to make videos and music and just work like I used to, because there was about 7 solid months that I was really just kind of down and unable to do very much and even walk. And so it was a time in my life that God used in a variety of ways, but it was really rough at the same time. So let's get to the point of this video that we're here to talk about, and that is INFJ challenges in the modern world. And I was going to just straight up put like a negative title in there, because negative topics tend to do well on YouTube, I've noticed. Go figure. I think that's kind of like how the world is, generally speaking. And the rant sessions and whatnot. So I'm going to try to rant a little bit about this without it just being a complaint session. So let's talk about, sorry, I'm gonna drink it because it's good. Hey there, Embarrassed, Yusuf Edits. Welcome, you guys. Yeah, this is kind of a newer channel, even though for a while I was doing a lot of podcast style videos. But as far as actually my face on the video talking to you guys, this is somewhat newer. So I'm glad to be here and doing it. So INFJs, or if you know an INFJ, let's start with the fact that we're not prophets. We don't have any crystal balls. However, it seems that way to a lot of people, and even to us sometimes, just because we're so good and natural, just in the back of our brain somewhere. It's always working. We're always connecting the dots to people, events, any sort of thing that we've been watching play out, maybe for years. And it wasn't until like now that we decided consciously that we want to break it down and try to get to the bottom of it. We're very creative, and we're thinking all the time, both consciously and subconsciously. And so when we put that all together, we tend to have these sort of like light bulb moments. Ding! Wow, that's what the truth really is. And so it seems like a psychic ability, because both to those around us who know us well enough, actually, it could be strangers too, but into ourselves who just have these moments, and whether we keep it to ourselves or share it, it's really kind of a wow moment. Like, how did I figure that out? Where did that come from? But we're so sure about it, and not just we're sure and confident about it, but we can usually put it to the test and find out that we're at least in the 90 percentile accurate about it, which like I'm saying, it can be even amazing to us sometimes. And so whether we share it or not, it doesn't change the fact that it's real. And I mean, you could call it psychic, maybe. I don't know what the definition of psychic is, but you could call it that in terms of we're able to foresee future events, but not necessarily like it's a vision. It's more just like if things keep continuing the way that I've seen them transpire over the last month, years, then this will happen. Who else is here? Aiden and Mango. Hello. Hi and hi. Anna Celia Sousa Almeida. Oh, I can't speak Spanish, but it looks like you're in Brazil. So that's awesome. Hello to you. And okay, so more now on the complaint side of things, on the rant. Yes, I do believe in Jesus. Thank you. Where was I going? So, okay, on the rant side, it's difficult for INFJs in this modern world because we get all this information. So any topic, we have the yays and the nays, right? And lately on another channel, I've been talking about the shape of the earth. So you have maybe a small handful of people that are kind of in the middle, but then you have all these people on each side that are really confident on what it should be or what the truth is. And so the problem for INFJs is that if we dig into something long enough, not only are we confident, but we've probably broken it down from every angle and connected the dots way harder than even we wanted to. But there's not too many people that we can really share that feeling with, that passion in a way that they understand, you know? So, and if we try to, it probably just kind of sounds like we're crazy because they don't have these cognitive functions, this stuff working in the background of their brain all the time. They just don't get it. And as far as the community side, the support system side of being an INFJ goes, that's why we really need to use the internet to come together as INFJs, friends, and even if you're not an INFJ, but you just appreciate and I'm getting tongue-tied, and understand how this sort of brain works. Because on the flip side, is it grippy? Hey, you. On the flip side, part of the issue is that INFJs can really understand where others are coming from, all of their 15 personalities. We may not agree with their perception of things or even want to support them in certain things, but we can understand it and appreciate it. Excuse me, I'm drinking too much tea, barley tea. We can get it. We can get where they're coming from. And I don't know how many of the 16 personalities can kind of truly appreciate INFJs with some research, but it seems like a pretty small number just from my own life experience. Even when we try to explain certain things like, you know, hey friend, did you notice that thing I was talking about 2, 3, 4 years ago, 5, 10, is kind of coming true? Because there's been a whole lot of that in the last 10 years. Things that I talked about, maybe I wasn't 100% correct in what was going to happen, but just like I was saying, the line, the direction of where the country was headed, the world was headed. And here we are now in 2025 on this video. And yes, all this stuff is happening. And I've had a few friends that got it, saw it, and they're like, yeah, you're like a deep thinker, man. You were calling out some stuff. But, that's, again, there's that loneliness factor that's there as an INFJ. Because even if they kind of get some of it, it's like there's this whole other world that's been going on in our head that is reality based, connecting the dots that they just didn't see, didn't grasp, didn't understand. And so, is it lonely? Yes. Can it be kind of depressing? Yes. But like with a lot of things, just understanding how that part of you is very rare and unique, you just have to appreciate the blessing of it and be grateful for it. Because I don't know about you, but me personally, even though I know there's a lot of things about being that personality type that is tough and feels like a curse, there's also a lot that's a blessing, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. I would rather have that part of me than not. So, as just a human being, as a Christian, I've learned through trial and error and life experience that just literally just being grateful for not just that, but anything in life, it's like just a mind shift. And you get out of that depression where you're just like, oh, everything sucks, it's horrible. And you just, hey, I'm grateful for these things. And so there's no magic, it's just a different focus, different thing you focus on. And then when you snap yourself out of that sort of depression cycle, I guess it's called like a NITI loop or something like that, where you're just like stuck in this perpetual wheel of doom. Then you break out of it, you can work on things that are important to you, which for me is like musician, producer kind of stuff, or videos. Those are the kinds of things that I really love to do. And I can't do that if I'm stuck in this depressed world. So that goes for all of us. We need to just be grateful and snap ourselves out of it and just stop sitting around and thinking about it. And we also need to protect our energy. I'm sure you've heard that from other videos and channels. We are not meant to be extroverts every day of our lives, constantly. It's just, it sucks the energy out of our bodies and brains so quick because of that fact that there's always, the engine's always working in the background, our brain. We're always thinking about things, we're always connecting dots, whether we like it or not, whether it's about the person or people that we're around, whether it's, a job, a community event, school, whatever it is, when we're around people, that energy, it's flowing out of us. We're losing it. And so we have to recharge. We got to isolate and just find that balance. So if you look at your average week or day in your life, if there's a big chunk of it that you have no choice, you have to be around a lot of people, then guess what you may be needing to do at night a lot of times? Just nice quiet time. At home, in your room, car, wherever you need to go, honestly, to just recharge yourself, have that inner world of peace, and no outside distractions, no people to worry about, or expend the energy. No one, you agree? Awesome. You said you couldn't write music when you were performing regularly. Creative vampires are everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have some great neighbors, as an example. I love them. They're some of the best neighbors I've ever had. However, I just don't want to talk to them all the time because they're very extroverted, and I could find myself in a 15, 30-minute conversation with them, which is great, in itself. But then when I walk away, I mean, I'm kind of looking at the negative side of it, but it's just a fact. When I walk away, I'm kind of like, oh man, I got totally sidetracked of what I wanted to do. I feel like I just burnt like a couple hundred calories of brain power, energy. And then, well, for this example, if I'm at home, then I have to sit down, get back into whatever zone I wanted to get back into, and okay, start the wheel again of creativity, of just free thought, and all those things. So, yeah, if you're an INFJ or anywhere near, you get it, you understand it. So, no one, that's awesome. You're with me. Let me take a quick break from talking and drink more of my barley grass tea because it's getting colder. But that's why I love this. I don't know if it's stainless steel mug. It's just a cheap mug, but I can close it and it keeps it warm. I love it because I take forever to drink tea, coffee, whatever. I just sip. So yeah, you get what I mean. I really want to do more lives, more discussions like this on this channel because ever since about 2015, when I discovered I was an INFJ, I've been fascinated by the topic. And, I think for a lot of us, it's kind of like as an INFJ, we were always interested in psychology and human interaction and why we think the way we do, but we just didn't know it. So then when we discover the 16 personalities and what our type is, MBTI, just like how some smart people put all of that together in a nice, neat package. And then we did the personality test, we got the result, and we read it. It's just like, just mind explosion because it all makes sense. And I don't know about you, but this is probably mostly an INFJ thing, maybe another personality or two. But that first day, reading my INFJ profile, like the strengths, weaknesses, relationship stuff, work stuff, how our brain works, it was just like laughing uncontrollably for at least 5 minutes. That's what I remember anyway. It was just hilarious because I couldn't believe that somebody or anything, I could take like a 20-minute test and it was like I was reading about myself, things that I never knew how to communicate to somebody. So yeah, that was back in 2015 for me. And so now it's been 10 years and I've researched it so many thousands of hours at this point that I think pretty much know everything I needed to know about it, but I still watch videos from time to time. And yeah, I went the extra step and decided, hey, I want to do my own channel about INFJs and just personality stuff because I was so interested in the topic. So yeah, no one. You should definitely research it. I don't know if I don't know if it's in this video description, but if you go to, I think it's called 16personalities.com, 16personalities.com, you can do a free personality test. And like I said, excuse me, it only takes like 20, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes at most, probably more like 15, 20, to do the test. And yeah, once you're done, you get your personality profile. You're going to be one of 16 personalities. Essentially, every person on earth is one of these 16 personalities. And each of them is a 4-digit acronym. So mine is INFJ, and yours could be ENFJ, or, geez, I can't even remember all the names right now, INFP, but there's 16 total. And so if you do the test, I don't know, as an INFJ, I had to do it 2 or 3 times over years, just those first couple of years, because I wanted to be sure that I was sure. But I think for most people, it's usually accurate the first time you do it. And yeah, once you're done with the test, you get like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 pages about that personality that you can read. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything, unless they change it if you're watching this video later. But it's been free all these years I've been talking about it. And so no one asks, do you think the question choices are fair and not loaded questions like some are? Yeah, I mean, this is a different kind of test. So I don't think it's loaded at all. There's no real reason for the questions to be loaded because, I mean, they have paid services, I'm sure, that you can buy, but the test is totally free. And no matter what personality you end up with, there's that company, for example, is still just trying to get everybody to maybe purchase the premium package or whatever. So no, I don't think there's any bias there whatsoever. The test is just meant to help you find out what your personality is. It's not, you know, if you get this personality, you can pay this much or this much. It's nothing like that. And but there's research involved. You know, if you really want to know more about it, then once you get your personality type, then you can watch some videos about that, and then you're just going to figure out, hey, that does sound like me. Wow. And you probably will have some wows along the way. But as a music teacher, coach of several kinds over the years, a Marine leader and Marine musician, somebody who's worn many hats in life, to do with leadership too, and being an entrepreneur. Anytime I've done any sort of life coaching, doing this personality test, figuring out what personality you have, that's always been one of the first things that I've recommended to others and friends. Because yeah, it's one thing to know your strengths and weaknesses, but it's another to understand why you have those strengths and weaknesses and how your brain functions on a day-to-day basis. It's truly remarkable if you've never sort of figured this stuff out yet. And yeah, like I said, 2015 is when I discovered it. Oh geez, what age was I? Okay, I was around 37, somewhere around there. So I had gone through all those years of life without really understanding much at all about psychology or the 16 personalities. Oh, nothing about that. And the first day that I finished my test and realized this whole new world just opened up to me. And so it's helped me. I've learned how to make my strengths stronger and not let my weaknesses inhibit me from sort of accomplishing my goals, and also how to make my weaknesses stronger, such as the energy thing. Like as an INFJ, if I know that people suck the energy out of me from being in gatherings or whatnot, then I'm able to limit that time or just change the way that I go about it. But also just not be hard on myself for being that way, for feeling like, oh, I need to, like, before it was like, oh, I need to hide away from everybody. Why am I like that? It wasn't because I was just overly sensitive or shy. It was just, yeah, like somebody mentioned earlier, it's like the energy vampire. They're just sucking it out of you. You have no control over it. But there's always the yin and the yang, the good and the bad to any personality. I really believe that. So on the flip side, for the INFJ, yes, we may need to isolate more, but we can do that and not get lonely or depressed by being alone. That is like our freedom zone. And we have so much power and creativity in that. So, yeah, that's why I say like the yin and the yang. Yeah, there's some negatives, some very clear negatives, because we'd like to just click, be able to turn on the extrovert knob or switch and just go for hours and talk to people and not feel like our energy has been stolen from us. However, on the flip side, we are really good at being independent and focusing on things for hours all by ourselves. We don't need any help. We know we can figure out what we want to do, who we want to be, where we want to go in life. And that's really powerful. So yeah, there's negatives, but there's some crazy positives as well. But like I said, even though this channel is called INFJenius, and it's about INFJ and the personality, because that's my personality, so I naturally focus on that. Even though that's the channel, it's also about the 16 personalities and sort of self-development. And I just know, because God created us all with strengths, different strengths, that we all have, the things that we're better at, things we're not so good at. And so I believe like half of the personalities are more introverted, and kind of the other half are the extroverted types. That's just one very generalized summary of the 16 personalities. So I'm not an expert on all 16 personalities, but I'm an expert on the INFJ personality. And like I said, I'm more related to the self-development side of things in talking about it. But having 15 years in the Marine Corps and a lot of leadership experience, working with different companies, being an entrepreneur, being a music teacher, music producer, artist, I could go on, but it's just different things that either became passions of mine or that I was forced into, and I've had a lot of experience with. And I really wish, back in my time in the Marine Corps and lots of other things that I did in life, that I would have known about being an INFJ and knowing more about the personalities, because I know I could have done a lot of things a lot better, but I just didn't know about it. I was unaware. So, yeah, before that time, there were a lot of things I blamed myself for, or made bad choices about, that I would have done a lot better if I would have understood what my personality was and just how God made me. So that will be the same true for you if you find that out. So anyhow, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. wow, 30 minutes on live. That's by far one of the most I've done on this channel. But yeah, I got lots of sort of podcast stuff of my first videos on this channel if you want to check it out. Make sure you're liking and following and yeah, subscribing, all that stuff if you want to hear more, because I plan to keep this channel going. I'm really just going with the flow. I don't do any specific schedule yet on lives or anything, but that's awesome, no one. I wonder if you're an INFJ. You could be. So you said you related to everything I'm saying. You're happy you found the channel, and you usually absorb new info with caution and suspicion. Yeah, as do I. Yeah, I'm not going to just assume you're an INFJ or not, or whatever personality you are, but one thing about INFJs is we're like natural body language readers. We can just pick up the energy of a person or a room. Even from text, we can pick up a lot of things that many people don't. And so if I'm watching somebody on video, generally from that first few minutes or that first video I watch, I have a pretty good feel of who the person is and kind of like what percentage they're being authentic and what percentage they're not. And I'll just kind of leave it at that. So those are some of the kind of intriguing strengths, interesting things that you're going to find out from your personality, is some of those things that like you've been doing your whole life, but you just didn't know that you were built to do this naturally, kind of like a computer, literally. It's just certain things are just happening automatically, whether you think about it or not. So, okay, yeah, check out 16personalities.com, do their free personality test. I don't even know if I have the link in my channel description or video description, but yeah, enjoy it. Make sure you let me know how much fun it was and what you discovered, because I think you're going to love it. I know you will. You already sound interested in the topic, so you're going to have fun. So enjoy. All right, I will see you all again soon. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell on and all that stuff, because it's just kind of a free-for-all whenever I decide to do live. And otherwise, you'll miss it, obviously. So thank you all. I'll see you again soon.